Support for this podcast is brought to you, as always, by our boys at xbrain.co.uk for any and all supplementation needs. They are the UK and European distributor for anything on it. Enter promo code Fighting Words to save 20% on any and all Xbrain products at checkout. Support is also brought by our boys at Market Squawk, powered by livesquawk.co.uk for all of your on-demand data needs. Now, tonight, we're continuing Queen season, and there is no one better to continue Queen season with Shannon and Chaos Ryan. Where did Chaos come from?
My dad, many years ago when I used to kickbox. Yeah.
Because of what, like ADHD and mentalness? Because I've got two little girls as well, and one of them 100% is Chaos.
Yeah, no, just I was a chaotic fighter, to be honest.
Right.
A bit different now, but back then, I was a very chaotic fighter, yeah.
So, again, like I completely go against what I said before I started. The thing that's different about you, which is like one of the more fascinating things for Jesse and myself, is that this is like your third discipline where not only are you, you know, let's be real, you know, you're coming up to the top of the heap, you know, Team GB Taekwondo, you know, kickboxing elite, and now you're very much so entered foreign, big promotional deal, great management deal. It just speaks volumes to you as a martial artist more than just a fighter. So can you like just very, very briefly, because I'm sure you get asked all the time, just run me through the journey of how you ended up putting on a set of gloves and getting hooked up with 258 and Boxer?
Yeah, I think I love telling the story because I think it gives others, you know, the story of they can do it too. You know, you don't have to be a boxer from young to reach the top. But yeah, my dad has a kickboxing gym in Bushy. So I started when I was 5 years old. Kind of, I'd say I got brought into it and I didn't really have a choice. In the kickboxing that we've done, it is sport karate. So you're not, it's semi-contact, it's not full contact. So it's not in the Olympics, you can't get money from it. So I believe it was 2016 is when I finished world number one, won everything there is to achieve. And I got accepted on the GB Taekwondo team. So I was then training for Tokyo, the Olympics, which was very exciting. However, the setup and everything just wasn't for me. I ended up getting a serious hip injury and I left the team. I then went back to kickboxing just for something to do. Got a job at O2 because I needed a job now to get money. I was a Christmas temp. And then I thought I need to go into a sport now where I can give it my all. I did one session of MMA with Michael Page at London Shoot Fighters. Hated it. Didn't go back. It was more the grappling I didn't like. And then that's when I went to Finchley ABC, started my amateur career in August 2018.
See, that's not long ago.
Not long ago, no.
That's not long ago, and here you are ranked second in these lands, and you know 4-0, and just a very real star in the making. Like there's a lot of hype around you, and it's warranted. Like the weird thing about, well, not weird, the very visible thing about your style is that you can see that you've come from another style at the minute, and it's not a detriment until you've got great feet, great balance, and you're explosive as well.
Just need to sit more than punches, I think.
Yeah, but then that's gonna come. Exactly.
Even lifelong boxers still have a lot of trouble transferring over from the amateur game to the pro game with that, though. That's not, I don't think that's anything to do with like different disciplines.
But also it's super flyweight though, you know, like it's like it's not known for like bangers. You're always going to get the odd banger lurking around, but you know, like it's hard. It's especially you know, you've got I'm sure on the pads you crack. I've seen some videos like our new best friend Shiesty on 505, like some of the training vids that she put up of you guys, like decent. With that, like, have you got an O2 t-shirt on? Have you just finished the shift or are you sponsored now?
I am sponsored by them, but I went to the gym, but then there was a power cut, so I had to come straight home.
Right. Yeah. So how have you how did you get hooked up with Boxer for a start? Because you know, with their assault, really, they've come not out of nowhere, but they've been given the biggest platform on the planet. Ben, in all respects, he has run with it, and he's really doing some good work. I'm deeply impressed with Mr. Shalom.
Yeah.
And he's taller than I thought he was as well.
Anyone's taller than me, to be honest. But no, I think Ben's doing a really good job for the stable and for boxing itself. It's he's creating historic moments and, you know, just keeping his word to us as fighters, which is great as a promoter. But how that come about was just down to obviously what I'm doing and what I've done and what he's seen. But then that's also with Truth of Eight, the connections, and then talking. And, you know, I don't have that amateur background, so it was a risk that was taken. But I believe now when Ben looks, it was a risk worth taking.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, the thing is like you have so much fight experience that, you know, you understand the timing, you understand the distance. You actually, to be fair, boxing is less going on. It's a lot more, I would say it's a lot more of a refined, complicated art, but you're not dodging kicks and punches, and it's you're there to do damage, you know, you're there to win at all costs. It's not a like touch and get away kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you do fight like you want to destroy, which the Chaos name does work very well.
It does fit.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
What's the plan for you? Like, what? Run me through the dream. Like, what are you looking to do? Obviously, world titles. Obviously, goes without saying. But how far? How long do you want to?
How soon?
Yeah. So what am I now? I'm 26. Of course, the titles. I haven't grown up obviously with boxing, so I never had the dream or aspiration to become a world champion. But obviously now I'm heavily involved in boxing, and it's now my job and my career. Of course, I want all the belts. I want to become undisputed. Then I also want to make that mark on not everyone. A lot of people say the younger generation, but mine is more for everyone, whether it's male, female, kids, in just figuring out, well, once you figure out your purpose, is give it your all. I think we get trapped in the life cycle and the system that we live in the UK, and people go to work like they're 9 to 5, I say, or 9 to 6. But people forget to do what they love, and you have to do that during your 6 p.m. and your 10 p.m. So I just kind of want to reiterate that to everyone whilst I'm boxing, and transfer that into life skills as well.
I mean, that's a wicked message. So are you?
Huge.
I mean, you got to start with like the kids are the way to do that from the start. Like for I've got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. For my little girls to hear that and to see that from someone like yourself, and like the little one loves watching fights, the big one not as much, but like to hear it from a fellow female, a positive one, and successful, and pumping that message over and over again is perfect.
And I think I got that from, I was working at O2, and technology is not my field, but I was a Christmas temp and then worked my way up to assistant manager. And obviously when you're manager, you've got to open the shop, you've got to close the shop, then go training, then wake up the next day to do the whole thing again. But I still managed to get my training done and still train to my maximum. But it was always knowing the 5 years I was there, it was giving it my all in both that job, which has now led me to be partnered with O2, which has allowed me to now not work there anymore, but still be a part of O2 and to fulfill my purpose.
And for like, I'm just going to say it. I'm on O2 myself. I've been on O2 for a long time. But for someone, for O2, a company of that size, to take one of their former employees, sponsor them to help them go through. You don't really hear that often. That happens. No. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, and I think how I got that myself in terms of, I just sent an email. Well, I sent a few until I got a response. But I think a lot of people these days, they try and jump into a sponsorship and say, this is what you can do for me, rather than saying, obviously, of course, O2 don't need me, but I went into it with, this is what you can do for me and this is what I can do for you. This will be a great partnership. And then it went from there,
Well, I mean, what kind of do you have to do the odd shift every now and again, or are they just like, look, we've got the iPhone 15, Shazza, come and give it a little bit of a flex?
No, do you know what? When I did leave, I did say, can I be put on like a 0-hour contract if I do want to go in, because I do miss that part, the customers and the social part with the team. But yeah, that wasn't allowed.
That's not only is that not allowed, that's a terrible idea. Yeah. Before you know it, you're just missing training because you're just trying to do a little bit of inventory. So when you decided to turn over, was there much thought with it? Was it just like, because you seem not chaos focused chaos, you seem dangerous, like, I'm gonna do this, that's the end of it, there's no turning back. You burn your bridges at the shore kind of thing. So decide to go pro. That's it. Immediately, let's start making contacts. Let's do this.
Yeah, no. So how that happened was I was training to do the elites, March 2020. Lockdown then happened. Then the AJ signing or communications were taking place in 2020, I believe.
Right.
They then were going to guide my amateur career. So I was going to stay amateur, but then the lockdowns kept getting extended. So I thought, let's use this time wisely. Let's turn pro, not fight for a year, work on the pro game for a year. And then I had my first fight in March 2022.
Nuts. Does it feel like a blur?
Yeah, I'm kind of used to it now, but there is still moments where it's like, it's a surreal moment, you know, to be signed by 258, which is Anthony Joshua's management team company is I'm just grateful, you know, because when I look at my whole boxing journey, my whole fighting journey, it was never a dream, you know. So that's why I'm just so blessed and grateful, because, you know, it's just amazing.
But it's the dream now, so
that
don't even matter, does it? You know, it doesn't. This is the direction you've been put on, and you're absolutely running with it. What's been your like absolute peak experience so far?
Would definitely be the O2 card. I think that was to, you know, meet other females that are such high up, like Clarissa Shields, you know, Michaela Mayer, Alicia, Savannah Marshall, and just to be involved in it, to be like, yeah, that's where I want to be. And then to, obviously I didn't walk out with 20,000 people there, but, you know, I was there amongst it. So when I saw that, it was just so motivating. You know, I feel like I can motivate myself, but then to see that just gives you that extra drive and determination to, you know, that could be me headlining one day.
It was, to be fair, last year, it was probably it wasn't the most intense card. It was probably the most fun card that we went to last year. It was just a great show, wasn't it? Not quite sure about the whole weird concert in between with this young man called Tom who kept walking around us. I don't know what he's all about, but like, it was a great show.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
When are you out next?
Trying to get out in March.
Yeah, what, in Liverpool?
I'm not too sure. That's what I'm waiting for. Whether it's Wembley, Liverpool, not too sure.
Okay, just still waiting. Be out this year?
Minimum 4, maximum 5 if we can fit it in.
Nice.
We started March last year and got 4 in, so I know we'll definitely get the 4. But if we can get that 5th one, then we will. But that just providing I feel okay and good to push on. You know, you don't want to get the 5th one in if you're not feeling 100% and have a bad performance.
Yeah, for sure. How proud is Dad now?
So proud.
Is he just out of control with it?
Yeah, because he still teaches, so he still has his evening classes, and then he teaches in the day as well. So whenever he can come to sparring or move people, he will come. He doesn't really get involved because he's not about that involvement. But yeah, the support, I still live at home, and the support that my mum and dad give me is phenomenal. They support me as I'm growing. They support me more and they do more for me.
That's amazing. You got siblings?
Yeah, 2 sisters, which they used to train and kickbox. But one is a sports rehabilitator and the other one is a masseuse and beauty therapist.
You've got it all in house.
It's all there. But the sports rehabilitator, she lives in Bristol, so it's hard to
selfish, really.
Very
selfish.
What
I mean, like you're trying to fulfill a dream. Like she could be part of this. She could be on
I know. I
you.
tell her all the time, and I'll send her this.
I think you should. To be honest, I'm shocked. I'm probably as shocked as you are.
Yeah.
So, how do you get much involvement with the big man himself?
He's there at the end of the phone if I need him.
Yeah.
But in terms of my career, it is 258 that will guide that. But you know, if I need advice or you know, if I wanted to send him a message, he'll always get back to me when he can. Obviously now he's in camp, so I would then stay away from that, you know, because he's got a lot to do himself. So yeah, I just pick my moments if I need to talk to him with whatever he's got going on.
I've got a question for you, because you're actually maybe the first person we've had on the pod, or someone that I can't remember who's probably got the same thing. But when you see, because like of the fighters on the planet, he must have the tallest pedestal, and just like at any minute everyone is ready to crush that dude. Like, as someone that's part of the team and knows him, and you know, I've never met the guy. He's walked past me a few times, and it's just shockingly awe-inspiring that humans come that big. But he seems a genuinely good person.
Yeah,
so
no, he is.
this is what I'm saying. Like when you see that as someone that is part of his management team that has connections to him and stuff like that, when you see the madness that comes out, the geezer can do no right or no wrong. Is it just bizarre?
Yeah, no, I think he's a good person at heart. You know, I still live in Watford, and he was from Watford as well. And he always comes back, and he's got the community of people that he'll always go and see regardless, you know. Even like when he is in camp and he comes back on the weekend, he's always there for people, you know, if they need advice or to talk to him, he'll always give like 5-10 minutes of his time when he's got so much else going on, you know.
Yeah.
I just think at heart he is just a good person. And that's just him.
Yeah, that's why I find it so fascinating that like the boxing fans and press are so up and down with him, because it's just like, what do you want from the geezer?
Yeah, I think that's just the public though, isn't it? You're always going to get that regard.
They don't.
It's because they're not proper boxing fans, though. It's that whole like
so
wave
selective.
of you've attracted the football fans into now watching boxing, and now they're like, fickle as they are with football as they are with boxers.
I will never ever forget after AJ Usyk 2, because Shaz, I work in an office. I will never forget the casual chat that was going on about that fight, and you just hear it, and it's just wild stuff, like, you know, overrated and words to that effect, and you're like, well, the geezer that he's fought is gold medalist.
Yeah,
he's been boxing since he was 4. He's a protege of the head of the Ukrainian team. Like, he's all of the things that AJ did. AJ started what, 18?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean? Like, Usyk would have started boxing at 4. You just can't. There's just a gap. Like, it's just it's very strange. Very odd.
No, AJ, he has done very well. You know, for the time he's been in the sport, who he's fought, his resume, what he's done outside of boxing as well. I just think it's very admirable and inspiring, because at the end of the day, boxing is a business. You know, and he's all them people, been heavyweight champion of the world twice, and achieved so much outside of the sport. So he's done very well.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously wish you the same level of success.
Thank you.
Fact,
Me too.
Fact, because it's just always great to see it, because we've come now pretty much the mecca of boxing. It's become the central point across the planet, and this is definitely the hub of women's boxing. So for you, are you ready to fly the flag and be? Katie can only last for so much longer. There's a person that needs to take that mantle.
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I feel like I've done. I am ready. I'm so ready. No, I think you've just got to have confidence within yourself, and you know, I just want to climb the ladder at my own step, my own pace, and it's, you know, everyone's on their own journey. But when I'm saying about flying the flag, that just means I want to get to the top of the sport. I want to become number 1 in my division, and in the world, and you know, collect all them belts and be an inspiring figure for other people.
I love that. Like, it's just so nice to hear that. I mean, you're beyond positive, but it's just, have you considered doing a little bit of punditry? Very good speaker.
I would like. I do want to. Yeah, I think that it's from the O2 job that I had and speaking to different customers today. But yeah, punditry is what I would definitely like to do. Yeah.
Jump into the old Fraser Clark position. Just give him the little shove, a little shove out the way.
Just elbow him. See later.
He does, doesn't he?
I think Fraser speaks very, very well.
He does.
In interviews, punditry.
What I want him and TKV to be doing it together, because I just want the needle, like the Passag needle between the two of them as they're going. I just think it'd be brilliant.
That'd be good.
Yeah. All right, Shannon, I won't keep much more of your evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
No worries.
I'll give you a little shout back when we know that you're coming back out.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Cheers, Shannon. Hyper positive.
Hyper positive. Super positive.
As always, I don't want to crush the flow. It's patreon.com fighting words. £2 a month, £3.50 a month, £5 a month, £10 a month. Yeah, Shannon, what an absolute delight and an absolute gem, really. Like,
yeah,
I hope my girls come out like that. And I know she's young, because 25 is 25 and it's young, but like,
yeah, but she's like,
the clarity.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. She's so like focused and clear on what she wants and what she stands for. And it's just so good to see. Like, and honest with everything. Like, honest with, well, I didn't grow up hoping and wishing to be like a world champion, but now that I'm in it, I want to do it.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think she will.
I think she will.
I mean, she's 4 fights in. You know, the weird thing about Shannon is that when you watch her style, you can see that the power is there. You can see that because she's got like big legs, and she's got a solid torso, and she's got
the form, and she's got the style for power. You know,
she has the explosion, but she doesn't have the kinetic chain hasn't linked.
It's like
just yet.
It's like she said. She's just like, she doesn't sit on her punches just enough just yet. But that takes a long time. Like going from like where the taekwondo and kickboxing are even more on your toes and floaty than the amateur style of boxing. It's hard enough to go from amateur style boxing alone. And obviously she's had a good amateur career as well. So it's not like she has had none.
No.
But
just not amateur
it's inevitable.
boxing.
Like if you've done something from so young, it's going to be a little bit slower, a little bit harder to transfer over. But like, just because of everything about her, she's going to be able to get that. Like she'll start sitting on her punches and she'll start hitting hard.
Just a little bit of perspective. So O2 is obviously owned by Telefonica, which is one of the biggest. I don't even know if they're still Telefonica, whatever they are. But that's like a Coley being sponsored by McDonald's, because he worked at McDonald's before he became a boxer. Like it's huge. And to be fair to them, I know they do a lot of sport and a lot of events, and you know, you fight in the O2, etc. It's very, very translatable. You don't hear that often.
You don't hear that about any of those kind of conglomerate companies. No. They're like, because it's risk.
Yeah, it's risk, and not only that, like a lot of the big companies now, big corps, they still don't really want to be linked to combat sports. They still don't want to be. I would assume that you know, because she is, you know, so clear, so driven, and so articulate, and one of them, they must have had a bit. Someone somewhere must know her to the point where they're like, yeah, she's a proper good egg.
Yeah.
Very impressed with her. Jess, see you shortly for Undestructible on patreon.com. Only on patreon.com. Patreon.com, fighting words.